AITA for reminding my sister that I'm the only one in our family with a doctorate? For clarification, I'm from the UK, so I think degrees work a bit differently here. So I, 26F, just finished my PhD in clinical psychology and am about to start practicing. I'm taking a bit of time off since I've been in school literally for 20 years at this point. My sister, 31, has a bachelor's degree, maths. Just saying because it's relevant to the story. And she's one of those people who cannot be wrong ever. I went to the same schools as her and only left her shadow when I went to uni. She's happy that I got my PhD but regularly mentions she could get one if she wanted. And the fact that I'm now more qualified and experienced in something really bothers her. She's a lovely person, as long as she's better than you. So we were talking about psychology over a family dinner. Her, me, our parents and her boyfriend. And she mentioned a theory that's been outdated for at least 10 years in support of her view on child psychology. It wasn't even up for debate. She was just wrong and trying to pretend she wasn't. I pointed out that the theory has been disproven and mentioned doing my one of dissertations on the subject. She laughed and said that doing a dissertation doesn't make you an expert, and I replied with, I'm the only one here with a doctorate. I'm the closest thing to an expert in the room. She got super pissed at the reminder and said that she's been thinking about getting one herself. I was pretty annoyed, so just said, then apply for it. But stop acting like we're equally qualified. It was probably harsh. But I've had years of her belittling my work and comparing it to her maths degree and now her job in accounting. AITA in this situation? NTA. Even if she had a doctorate in math, you'd still be more of an expert in psychology eyes. Sounds like the last part wasn't necessary, but it also sounds like it's been a long time coming. And things get said when heated. NTA. I have 3 older sisters and a master's of history. Every single sister thinks they know more than I do, even though none of them took beyond a basic history course in college. Older sisters. What can you do? I was expecting you to be here. But in context. NTA. If you were simply boasting about your PhD, then it would be a different case. But this was a conversation in the very subject in which you have your PhD. Furthermore, one you did a dissertation in. You could argue that you were a bit harsh about it. But being that arrogant and ignorant in the presence of someone who is an expert, of whatever sort, is always going to have a bad result. NTA because you obviously know more about psychology than her, and it was self-defeating for her to act like you didn't. What was the outdated theory? I have a math degree. I cackled out loud when you mentioned that she works in accounting because I totally called it. Accounting PhDs have very little to do with day-to-day accounting. And that's entirely irrelevant to this judgment. She's being an ass and needs to leave her ego at the door. And she knows it. From one math bachelor, credentialed person to another, get over yourself. NTA. NTA, if your sister was a guy, we would say it was mansplaining. NTA. She's clearly egotistical and trying to explain your own field to you. Math and psych are 2 incredibly different fields. It's not like you did child psych and she did criminal and you had a different education of the same field, and she may have been misguided. You corrected her, and when confronted, she attacked you. What you said was harsh. Yeah, but it sounded like she needed to hear it. My brother is a lawyer. I played a lawyer in a community theater production of Legally Blonde once. I don't know more than him about law. I'm a teacher. My brother went to school. He doesn't know more than me about education. NTA. It's okay to be an expert in something. She pushed the subject by belittling your dissertation. So it was fine for you to respond to that. You did walk into the room with trumpets blaring and shouting, "The expert is here." She questioned your expertise. You responded, "NTA, ha ha ha." Seems she just didn't want to be wrong. And dug herself deeper. I'm surprised this situation hasn't cropped up sooner for you. I'd suggest it is a bit of a nuclear option though. Don't go saying it all the time. Try to avoid it. But it was absolutely worth reminding her that you do know more than her. Congratulations on the PhD, Dr. Quirky Teach. I know how much work it is. Slightly smiling face. You have a PhD in clinical psychology. That qualifies you as an expert. Yes. You could have been nicer about it and tried to use your psychology expertise to de-escalate the situation. But you are NTA. Sounds like sis is struggling with some self-esteem issues. NTA and doing a dissertation as part of your PhD program absolutely makes you an expert. Now what healthy barriers can you set up to stop her from insulting you in front of your family? Always wanted to ask that to a psychologist. Never thought I'd get the chance. So don't mind me. Congrats on finishing your PhD. You were the only expert. Own that title. You bloody earned it. Respond like that every time in future, as you shouldn't be spoken down to. NTA. NTA. If your dissertation doesn't make you an expert, then she's even less of an expert. NTA. Your sister sounds like the kind of person that does her research by scrolling through Facebook. She should shut up and learn to admit it when she doesn't know what she's talking about. NTA. Ha. Good for you for standing up for yourself. She sounds extremely snobby. NTA. I don't understand why people have to prop themselves up when they feel inferior. Being an accountant is a good job and she should be proud of herself instead of trying to make herself seem superior by bringing you down. Congratulations on your doctorate and your new practice, and you can always tell your sister that if you do well, she can be your accountant. Info. What is the outdated theory? NTA. I just finished my master's while my partner is completing her doctorate. Seeing her complete it has shown me I don't want to go down that path. It's a different level of commitment. Also, saying you could do it and doing it are two very different things. NTA. You're the expert in psychology. So your opinion should be taken more seriously on the subject. If she's one of those people who can't ever be wrong, my best idea is to try and avoid topics where you might argue. If that's not possible, maybe some breathing space of a few weeks or months would help.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.